The rant is go!
Keiji Inafune. He was the character designer and producer for the Mega Man series, and more recently, the global head of production at Capcom. Inafune was the executive producer on these 5 games, of which 3 were financial bombs. He abruptly left the company in November after 23 years of service. During his last few years there, he claimed repeatedly that the Japanese development scene was uncompetitive and vastly inferior to the West. Determined to improve it, he left Capcom. But were his last unsuccessful decisions there due to paranoia or sabotage? Let's identify what games I'm talking about. Dark Void, Bionic Commando, Dead Rising 2, and Mega Man Legends 3DS. I'm covering Legends last, so stay put until then. Dark Void and Bionic Commando are the poster children of the mentality that the way to bypass Japan's ineptitude is to outsource entirely. Keiji Inafune's mindset is that the Japanese development community has become communist in its approach. People are paid salaries regardless of the successfulness of a job and are generally considered to be employed for life by the companies they work for. He believes that the increased incentive for success is what makes Western studios innately better at their jobs. However, by trusting these relatively untested studios with large budgets and major IPs, Capcom lost well over $20 million combined. Clearly, this strategy didn't work out financially, but, more importantly, by the end of the day, Capcom as a studio was not improved by it. If a studio or publisher makes a flop in-house, they still have the code and the engineering ingenuity and general development experience of having made that flop.
What did we learn here today?
Then Dead Rising 2 came out, and was a relative success. Either because it was a direct sequel to a game this generation, or Capcom struck it lucky with developer Blue Castle Games. They were so elated over Dead Rising 2's success that they made Blue Castle Games into Capcom Canada. Now back to Mega Man Legends 3DS. Don't think for a moment I'm against Legends 2 getting a sequel. I've been waiting for it for a long time, but I think the serious misstep here is the fact that it's on the 3DS. Let's think about this. 1. A sequel to an antiquated series. That means only older gamers will be avidly anticipating this release. 2. The series was never greatly successful to begin with. It's a small fan base. 3. It's on a portable, a type of video game system with sales dominated by younger people, thus excluding a larger percentage of the aforementioned audience that was small to begin with. This doesn't make a great deal of business sense just looking at those 3 things, but on top of that there are reports that the intended demographic, younger people, can potentially be harmed by the extensive use of the 3DS's 3D effect. You know, the major gimmick. Combined with the fact that it's the highest priced portable to ever come out of Nintendo, and one starts to wonder if Mega Man Legends 3DS stands a fucking chance at being a financial success. I suppose kids will be familiar with Mega Man because of games like Battle Network and Star Force. I hope it does well. It'd be great to see this third-person franchise on a console someday so I can play it with 2 analog sticks! The whole reason I've been wanting a fucking sequel since 2000! Anyway, these are the offenses I speak of. Risk after risk was committed with the paranoia that Japan's developmentality isn't up to the Western development paradigms. Inafune has been in the business a long time, and he's been the producer on pretty much every game with Mega and Man in the title, so why would he allow for such risky business practices with little payout for Capcom? I think it's a distinct possibility that Keiji may have sabotaged Capcom intentionally. He has had a history of problems with the company. Let's rewind. In 1987, Mega Man 1 was released to lukewarm reception. The development team thought that they could improve a great deal of things and make a much better sequel, but Capcom wouldn't have it. They wanted the team to work on Professional Baseball Murder Mystery and the NES port of Legendary Wings. Wow, what insightfulness, Capcom. So Keiji's team made a deal to continue work on a second Mega Man game, a Mega Man 2, if you will, while they developed these other games. They worked 20-hour days to get it done, but they did, and it was an amazing success. Then came Mega Man 3. This time around, Capcom pushed to have the game out earlier than Inafune and his team wanted. The team thought if they had a bit more time, they could have made a much more polished game, but Capcom laid down the law and the game was released prematurely. Now we jump forward to 2001. Keiji and his team finished Mega Man X5, intending it to be the last in the X series, planning to continue the plot in Mega Man Zero. Capcom then develops Mega Man X6 without his knowledge. Upon finding out that Zero's brought back to life in X6, Keiji freaked the fuck out. He had planned to bring him back in Mega Man Zero and now had to fix the plot lines so Zero wasn't revived twice. Though these aren't major problems, history and other statements by Inafune attest to him being disrespected thoroughly. Working in such a high-pressure situation for so long and being disrespected while trying to make progressive change from within the company obviously drove him to leave Capcom after all these years. So it's not totally unbelievable that it would also provide more than enough reason to spite the company before he left. Keiji announced in October that he would be leaving at the end of the next month. But he had saved up enough vacation time and he just left flat out at the beginning of the month. According to Inafune, when he submitted his letter of resignation, no one else in the company, aside from the people on his team, said a single word about it. No one asked him to stay or anything. It's like they didn't give a shit. Maybe they would have if he didn't lose over 20 million goddamn dollars. Just a thought. Inafune could have been sincere with his motivation to outsource $20 million games to completely new studios and could have thought that this was a good idea. I personally think that someone who has been in the industry for 23 years would know the great risk in such endeavors. Capcom is continuing in this direction of outsourcing major franchises for better or worse, especially if recent rumors of Slant 6 Games working on a new multiplayer-focused Resident Evil are to be believed. So, if Inafune did sabotage Capcom by setting them on this track, then mission completo. Capcom now risks millions of dollars and prestigious IPs on relatively unproven studios. If the last few games weren't sabotaged, then man did I overestimate Inafune. Fun fact, Inafune was a major proponent of Dante's Western redesign. Fun fact, my copies of Mega Man X1, X2, and X3 were stolen when I was 12. I know there's a very slim chance of the person who stole them watching this video, but if you are, give them back to me, or I will find you, and I will take everything you ever loved and burn it all before your eyes. And as you lie there in excruciating pain from the nails in your hands, because guess what? I crucified you. The hounds I have trained on your scent will slowly devour your flesh until... Wait, this is just convoluted. Let me try that again. Give them back to me, or I will find you,